Hey folks, and welcome back to Sunless Sea. So we're about to depart from Adam's Way, and let's keep heading east, see what we can find. And is this like a gate down to the continent? And you're not friendly, okay. I'm getting out of here. Sorry to bother you. Don't mind me. Is that another port? Yeah, it is a port. Nice. So what is this place? Varchas? Do you have anything good for me? Maybe? Something to trade? Something that gives me a lot of echoes? Tons of echoes? I mean, one can hope, right? The mirrored city, where was always the law. The burning white light of Varchas. The walled city of Varchas is tangled by green vines and luminescent fungal flowers, slow blowing around the moldering stone. Quincux something of card-stepped towers rise over the walls and pour burning white lights into the bleak sky. A rough-shadowed path leads from the docks to the mirrored gates of Varchas. Two towering carved stone lamps throw their lights on the angled mirrors, and a blue cloaked guard stands in the reflected pool of lights. The city is a beacon against the three hushed, sprawling darkness of the elder continent. In the far distance, a vast mountain glimmers. I'm getting more and more interested about the continent down south. Would be interesting if you could go there. Choke on the smell. Is this overpowering? It is overpowering sweet. It comes from the fungus growing wild all over the city stones. The sailors wave you over. They are sitting on some unperturbed crate on the docks, playing a game with mirrored ships and stylized snakes made of bone. Ask the guard a few questions. Tell the guard you wish to enter. Well, what else are gates for, if not to go through? True, true. Compile a port report, though. Tone down the details of the lights and its brilliance. You don't want to inspire envy in the Admiral's staff. Okay, do you have any shops? You have no shops. I'm guessing there won't be any shops unless I can enter the city. Tell the guard you wish to enter. She makes a mark in her ledger before ringing a brass bell. The mirrors of the gates rearrange to give you space to pass, but never once allow shadow to touch the guard. Our ways are not yours, Thomas. Remember that, and walk in the light of Mihir. Okay. Your eyes are blinded by the brilliance of the lights. The verdant rot smell is even thicker. The heat of so much flame and reflected light presses oppressively against your skin. Your head pounds. It is a few minutes before your eyes adjust and you can look around. Brass lamps and gilded sconces hang from every wall. The phosphorescent fungus grows moss-like upon doorways and ceilings. Cunningly arranged mirrors catch every droplet of light and diffuse it till each cobblestone and rampart of the city is drenched in blaze and utterly without shadow. Who do you speak to? It kind of reminds me of I don't remember which movie it is, but it's some form of it's an adventure movie. Maybe it's one of the Indiana Jones movies. Something anyway where there is a underground city of some sort, and and it's lighted up by a tons of mirror, by kind of reflecting the sunlight in from the surface, and that hit a mirrors which is reflected in tons of other mirrors around the place. Kind of cool idea of how to keep a place lit. The firekeeper, dressed in all in saffron, a pair of thick fireproof gloves hang from silver chain at her waist. The fungus carter, the jewel turbaned youth. Continue your exploration, but I want to find someone who can sell stuff. But okay, let's start with the firekeeper. I'm too important to play guide to you, Thomas. She tells you before you even open your mouth. I am the keeper of the Western Principal Mirror. She points up at the enormous multi-faced mirrors set atop each of the city's 5 towers. I'm only here because I'm looking for my idiot brother. He's probably busy pouring wine down some pretty dark-eyed boy's throat in a tavern. Is it a matter of great urgency, you wonder? He's late for his lamp checks in the sacred districts, is her terse reply as she hurries away. If the Agnotheri Agith Agnihotri found out, he'd be lucky to end up a lake dredger. Okay. The first tower bell has been sounded. The white cloak guard, the fungus carter. Her cart is piled high with fungal blooms and jars of algae painstakingly crammed from the surface of walls. Can I buy that? Gain 1 talion of terror. She stops every few minutes to cough surreptitiously into her dyed cotton scarf and eyes you warily when you approach. Okay, I have to take this load all the way to the sacred district, and then the priests don't like it if I'm late. You inquire politely about her cough, and she looks suddenly terrified. Me here, look down on me, she mumbles. Please don't say anything. I have a family to feed. With that, she grabs the handles of the cart and pulls away at a run. Within a few moments, you have lost. Within a few moments, you have lose sight. Isn't it supposed to be you have lost sight of her in the crowded pathways? You have lose sight of her. Oh well. What an odd woman. Indeed. The jewel turbaned youth. He's winking at you. Well, wink wink back, whoever you are. That it's a furtive wink or a flirtatious one. Only one way to find out. Let's go ask. He looks utterly overjoyed to make your acquaintance, and bangs on his wrist flashing as he presents his hands together in greeting. My friends and I would be honored if you would attend a small gathering with us, Thomas. We are so eager to hear about the world outside the Varchas city walls. He seems innocuous about invitation, but then why does his gaze dart around so anxiously as he tells you how to find his mansion in the eastern districts? Maybe they are not allowed to hear stories of the outside world? Continue your exploration. The hospital, the guard, Temple of Mirith, the inn. And let's go to the mansion, see what happens. Well, he did invite you after all. He did. At the mansion of the Ewell Turnbaned youth, you are not entirely sure what you were expecting from the Ewell Turnbaned youth's invitation. Perhaps a candlelit dinner and a genteel seduction, it turns out to be an evening of card games and chilled wine with his rather eclectic collection of friends. Well, isn't that what he said? He would like to invite you because he and his friends would like to know more about the outside world. But as the wine is drunk and the cards are played, the gathering take on a certain political tune. A regularly dressed artisan begins complaining of the Gihitori's something trade restriction. A novice priest points out contradictions in Mihir's mantras. A stone carver questions whether his daughter should also have to follow in the same profession. Will you, the jewel turbine youth stares at you, licking his lip. Will you tell us a story? Sure. Return to the city center, have a fanciful tale. It's practically a sailor's profession. Tell a wanderer's tale, full of sea salt and darkness and the creaking ships. Okay, well, let's try this one. A 60% chance that we'll make it. You failed! You lost 1 terror. Okay. Perhaps the wine is muddling your tongue, or maybe the fungus smell is too distracting. You can't seem to weave the threads of your story together into a whole. Your hero, a dashing sea captain, turns unexpectedly into a drownee, and so you pack him off to the tomb colonies, much to everyone's confusion. Yeah. Let's try this again. I mean, we don't really seem to lose anything. There we go. Your crew would have enjoyed this tale and probably added their own aside and embellishments, something. Still, you couldn't have hoped for more appreciative audience. They gasp and moan and shudder guiltily as your story comes to climax. Afterwards, the jewel turbine Jutes takes you by the hand. His own is shaking and his skin is clammy. We are forbidden from the trickery of storytelling in Varchas. Aha! I knew it! He tells you hoarsely. Hoarsely? I have never heard anything so sublime. Blah blah blah. You know how one's hearing enigma. Isn't this the one that you can sell off for 1,000 echoes back in London? Awesome. Then now unless we lose all our money, we will be able to buy the next ship when we get home. Okay, it seems like we had to leave the mansion. But I'd say it's time to leave. But I don't seem to be able to leave. Okay, so we have to stay here for an entire day. We can't click out. No? Okay. So let's visit the Temple of Mihir, see what kind of god they are babbling on about. The sound of bells grow louder and more reverberant as you approach. The temple tower pierces through the city's heart, taller than the other 4 towers which stand at each of the cardinal points. Around the temple sprawls the sacred districts, wine-covered stone shrines, still ponds glowing with algae and flash-finned carp. Priests in white, their wrists heavy with metal chains. Metal chains? Okay. There are no mirrors in the Temple of Mihir. The rest of the city has to make do with the mirrored light and the reflection, but Mihir's most sacred space is filled with hundreds of lamps and lit candles of hard-packed phosphorescent something fungus. Let's see, is there anything we can do here? The Agni Hitori. The Varchas, the equivalent of a king or a governor, he is overseeing the ritual and gives you a slanted glaze. The Sunseers, the Shrine of Mihir. His stone card form is rubbed daily with glowing moss. Perhaps it is gilt with which makes you think of placing a lamentable relic amongst the flowers and other offerings. Sure, let's do that. We lost one, blah blah blah, you gained 30 fragments. The fifth tower bowl is sounding its evening. Okay. One of the Sunseers sucks her breath in sharply and glares at your offering as though it is an abomination. Sorry, I don't know your culture. But she makes no move to knock it away. We do not eat the flesh of living beings, she hisses angrily. We do not murder or maim. We follow Mihir's tenets of purity and light. She touches you abruptly on the forehead, her fingers hot like a brand. May Mihir forgive you for your sins, as unforgivable as they seem to me. Okay. Still at the temple. And it doesn't look like we can do anything else. The inn. An evening after the fifth bell, each tamas is assigned a room. Well, that's nice of them. So they give all their guests somewhere to sleep. And sorry for all the sound that my phone is making. The light is endless and merciless. Will you sleep? Probably not. Evening in Varchas. All visitors to Varchas are given one night's accommodation in the city's only inn. It is a handsome stone mansion arranged around a pleasantly cool courtyard. Frescoes of city life are painted on the walls. Given how few visitors Varchas host, you suspect the inn is more usually used by philandering locals. Evening falls, or does it? The town's 5 principal mirrors are mounted on coiled spring mechanisms and alter the angles subtly to create the impression of evening. Across the city, the firekeepers throw pinches of colors powdered into the lamps and quality of lights yellows to a softer brightness. Interesting. The kitchen, the courtyard, a very modest challenge. Cushions are arrayed around the marble fountain in the middle. Musicians pluck the instruments under the shade of the twisted yellow leaf tree. Okay, let's try this one. You succeed. Their songs are curiously prosaic, the lyrics more like a biographical report than a poetic invention. You listen to the lake dredger's water-lodged, lotus-rooted dirge. You sway to the slow, steady ballad of the fungus collectors and join the lamplighters' quick-footed dance which mimics the evening rounds. The evening finishes with the Song of Mihir, which is sung to the accompaniments of stringed instruments and drums and polished glass prisms, which split the white light into rainbows in counterpoints of the notes. You have gained 3 members of a distant shore, you lost 2 terror, gained 5 fragments. Not bad, but now it's time to sleep, methinks. Methinks. And after this, I guess I will end the episode once we have the option to leave. You fall into sleep easily despite the bright lights, but your dreams are full of whispering, glittering smoke, mirror vapors that coil into reflection warping shapes. You see your limbs bend, your skin slot, your eyes twist. You wake with your heart pounding, your nostrils are full of fungal rot smell of Varchas. Your body is as it always was, but somehow that is not as comforting as it should be. You gain 10 terror. So did we have our first nightmare? All visitors to Varchas are given one night's accommodation in the city's only inn. Yeah, I already read that. Dawn in Varchas. Outsider time in Varchas is strictly rationed. Each morning at dawn, the guard visits the inn to eject any tamas they find. They are polite but very definitive. Into the dark. Return, the guards tell you, but not yet. With that, they usher you into the darkness beyond the walls. You blink, mirror dazzle from your eyes. It's cold out here. Well, that was interesting. But they didn't have any shops, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so we are getting close to the edge here of where we found the castle in our previous life. But yeah, if you liked this episode, please give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't, and a comment down below. And if you want to see more daily content here from me, then please do subscribe. And I hope you guys have a good one, and thank you for watching.